Alright, welcome to today's reading. Let's see who's watching. God, ancestors, please give us whatever message we need to hear right now. You're having some trouble in your spending. This is generally the card of overspending. But it's okay, because you're moving away, you're sailing away into fresh waters. This can also indicate travel, vacations, if you saw my other reading as well. You could be traveling somewhere abroad, overseas. Ooh, the world again, dang. Yeah, so this is confirmation if you're wanting to travel. There's an eagle, a lion, a bull, and a human in the corners. And then it looks like the Ouroboros, it isn't technically, but that's what that reminds me of, is the snake that eats itself continually, so as to represent the eternity of human linear time and the continuous cycles that are never ending of reincarnation and enlightenment. Always enlightened. Alright, so where are we traveling to? Where are we going? Taking you all with me, wherever I go. We're all gonna fucking rise this year together, I tell you what. 2024, it's gone. This year is about fire, in a good way. Queen of Wands? Okay, yeah, so you might be a very emotional person. You might be very, as one would say, empath. I believe all humanity. Okay. Here, please hold. Okay, I believe all of humanity is born an empath, and I feel like through society we slowly are taught to kind of turn off our superpowers. Like, you hang out with some kids, they're all tripping. They are tripping. Like, not subtly. They'll be like staring at things that aren't there. They're like cats, how they just look at things that float by and they're like, they'll be talking to ghosts. It's just no thing, you know. They see into different dimensions. Let me tell you, the first time I experienced something that you could call seeing into the future, which I do literally all the time now. I was 7. My father had gone to the grocery, and I was in the kitchen with my mom, and we were just talking. I remember sitting on this wooden stool that we had, because I was just tiny, and I remember my little feet would just dangle off. And so I'm sitting on the stool, dangling my feet, facing the kitchen window, and yeah, so when my dad had gone to the grocery, we lived in the sticks of Montana, and I think the grocery was like an hour or 2 away, something like that, and like minimally 30 minutes. Anyway. So I was sitting on the stool and I saw him carrying the groceries, walking by the window, and I'm just like super excited. I'm like, Dad's home. Like, tell my mom, she's just right there. Like, Mom, Dad's home. I like run to the front door, and there's nobody. And I'm like, bruh. Like, what? I'm like looking around for the car. There's no car. There's no father. And I was like so shook, but I was like, okay, I like shrug it off, and I go back and sit on the stool. I want to say like another 30 minutes passes by, and we're just like, I don't know if we were baking. We were just hanging out in the kitchen. And the exact vision that I had 30 minutes prior happens again. I see him, the same groceries, same bags, same, you know, focused look, walking by the window, like steady pace, just literally my father walking in front of this window. I run to the door again, and I'm like, Father, hello. And that time it actually had happened. And I remember it clicking in my head when I was like 7. I was 7 or 8 when that happened. And I was like, I just saw the goddamn future. I just saw the future. What? So yeah, so you might I forget where I was going with that. But that was a very pivotal time in my childhood where I was like, damn, I got gifts. And it wasn't, you know, you can't just, the sun was in my eyes. Like, there's no way to fake that. So, there's no way. So you might have always just had gifts as a child as well. Again, I forget why I brought that up, but maybe that'll make sense or, you know, resonate with somebody. I just know now that, like, if anything comes up in these readings, it's like someone, whether or not they comment, that's the thing. There's so many people that, like, ghost watch. And they'll, like, watch the videos, because I'm one of them. I'll ghost watch people's videos, and it's just, like, they describe my whole life, and I just generally don't comment for whatever reason. King of Pentacles. Okay, honey. So yeah, as we said, there was some financial difficulties. With the King of Pentacles, this is going to be completely turned around. And you're not going to be worried at all. This is like complete contentment with finances. So how can we tap in more to this abundant timeline for this collective? Ooh, okay. So there's some transmuting here. There's some inner alchemy that you gotta go through. Highly recommend meditating. Whatever, it doesn't have to be meditating, but whatever your process is to transmute, to alchemize that inner heaviness. The collective right now, there's two very distinct timelines. I'm glad this is coming through because I meant to talk about this, but there's a lot of anger in the one timeline. And this angry timeline feels very low, feels not good, right? Anger generally doesn't feel good. But the thing about anger that I've learned, anger is very, very interesting. And I've never met anger that didn't have sadness beneath it. You can be sad and not angry, but I don't believe you can be angry and not sad. And so whatever, just feel, I mean, you know, sit with that information. Really, like, sit with yourself and say, like, what is this anger, what is this sadness bumping into? If it was a situation, if something is popping up right now, you know, sit with that. And generally what it bumps into is a past experience. And so, you know, you can say, okay, this is a fake scenario. We can say someone at work yelled at me and you completely shut down. You get super pissed off. And you, like, start feeling into it, and you're like, okay, like, what is this bumping into? What past experience is this energy bumping into that makes it hurt so much? And you'll start to remember a past experience where you're like, okay, like, my first boyfriend when I was, you know, 16 used to freak out at me all the time. And then it's just like you start just unraveling, like, slowly and slowly, just tracing those mental threads of yarn, and you sit with it. You know, you don't judge yourself. You never are, like, too hard on yourself and say, like, don't feel those things, because it's good to feel. And yeah, it's very, very beautiful outcome for you with the king here. So I hope that resonated, and I love you guys. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.